Uh, my field of research is ancient Greek, but I got into that because at heart I'm a New Testament exegete and I want to be able to understand what the text says. But I do have a thing for languages, and so issues to do with how Greek affects our exegesis of a New Testament text was a natural interest for me, and so I got into Greek linguistics that way. I think at the moment we're in a very exciting period of the study of Greek, and I think if you take a broad survey of the last 100 years, there was a very exciting period at the turn of the 20th century and the 19th, 20th century, lots of work being done with Greek verbs and other issues, but particularly Greek verbs. And things like verbal aspect and actionzart were being explored by many scholars with great expertise and detail. And then sort of midway through the 20th century, things got less interesting. There didn't seem to be a whole lot more happening, and that's probably true of the study of Greek in general. And but the last 20, 30 years or so has seen a resurgence in understanding Greek and furthering our understanding in Greek, and particularly verbal aspect has reflowered, and there's lots of stuff going on, some very exciting work that's been happening. There's more to uncover, but it is great how much agreement there has been and how much progress that has been made. The trouble is, the perception outside academia is that no one can agree on things, and so we can't really, what's the point of teaching something like verbal aspect while the scholars still disagree? Well, yes, we do still disagree on some aspects, particularly the Greek perfect. The question of tense in the verb is that those things are still debated, and we need to keep working on those things. But a huge amount of ground has been made, and for example, we basically agree that verbal aspect is a very important feature of the Greek verbal system. We agree that verbal aspect is more important than tense, if tense exists. If it does, we all still agree that aspect is more important. We agree that aspect is very important. We agree on what aspect is. We agree on the majority of the tense forms in Greek and what aspect they convey. So there's actually a lot of ground that's been made in recent years, in the last 20, 30 years. The trouble is, as I said, the perception from the outside is that there's still disagreement. What I'm hoping to do with my book is to show there's a huge amount of agreement, and there are things that we can learn and teach and use that are not very controversial. And even the things that are controversial, there is a way to get going with those things in our use. And it's by using certain theories that you are able to critique them and then do better. So I'm hoping that my book will put us on the path for that.